We can't all be born royal, but wandering these magnificent castles is the next best thing. Welcome to MojoTravels, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 amazing European castles you can visit. Are you a fan of our videos? Be sure to subscribe to MojoTravels and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos. For this list, we're looking at the most grandiose, sumptuous, and otherwise superlative European castles open to visitors. Number 10. Palácio de Pena, Portugal. Perched on a hill in the Sintra Mountains, Pena Palace is a blaze of color exploding out of a forest. An exemplar of 19th century romanticism, the palatial fortress is a pastel hodgepodge of architectural styles in a luxuriant and labyrinthine garden, making it seem more fairy tale than reality. The first structure built on the hilltop was a chapel inspired by a vision of the Virgin Mary. A monastery followed, and King Ferdinand II had his extravagant summer palace built around the remains. Visitors can still see the original furniture, stuccos, and trompe-l'oeil murals in the restored interior. Number 9. Burg Hohenwerfen, Austria. From a cliff-top roost at the foot of the Alps, ancient Hohenwerfen Castle watches over the sleepy market town of Werfen in Salzach Valley. Originally in the 11th century in a period of political turmoil, the imposing medieval fortress was built by Archbishop Gebhard of Salzburg to guard against the forces of Holy Roman Emperor Henry IV. It was later a prison and then a hunting retreat, but is now a museum open to sightseers, with a spectacular falconry show complete with historic costumes and hunting music. Number 8. Château de Chillon, Switzerland. It's the castle that launched 1,000 postcards. Chillon Castle's magnificent lakeside setting is memorable enough, but the 13th century island fortress also has other claims to fame. In the 16th century, it was the prison of Genevan patriot François Bonivard, who had dared defy the encroachments of Charles III, Duke of Savoy. His 6-year imprisonment and rescue when the Bernese conquered the castle were immortalized in Byron's poem, The Prisoner of Chillon. Today, its medieval towers, halls, and dungeons delight visitors instead. Just a quick wander down the lakeshore from scenic Montreux. Number 7. Bran Castle, Romania. The red rooftops of Bran Castle, nicknamed Dracula's Castle, seem to pierce the sky, daring travelers to approach. Truth to tell, the association with Dracula, either Bram Stoker's fictional vampire or Stoker's inspiration Vlad the Impaler, rests on shaky historical ground. But the hilltop forest is nonetheless a spellbinding sight. Built in the 14th century to guard the eastern border of Transylvania, the castle thrusts from a towering crag of rock with a strategic view of the surrounding hills. Inside is an atmospheric warren of narrow passageways and royal chambers, decorated with original furniture and fittings. Number 6. Tower of London, England. Today it makes for an odd sight, a medieval Norman fortress in the heart of modern London. The turreted castle comes with a fascinating, albeit bloody, history. Built by William the Conqueror, the White Tower is perhaps best known as the prison of deposed monarchs. The young princes in the tower, Edward V and Richard, disappeared inside, while their uncle, Richard III, took the throne, and Henry VIII's wives Anne Boleyn and Catherine Howard were beheaded at its base. The castle's 6 resident ravens have become part of the attraction, guardians of the tower whose departure would supposedly herald the fall of Britain. Number 5. Prague Castle, Czech Republic. The world's largest ancient castle has stood on the west bank of the Vltava for over 1,000 years, while kings, emperors, and presidents came and went. Over the centuries, it's been expanded and rebuilt in a profusion of architectural styles, from the Romanesque St. George's Basilica to the Baroque New Royal Palace. Looming over it all is vast St. Vitus Cathedral, a Gothic masterpiece overlooking Prague. Somewhere inside the castle, behind a door with 7 locks, are the Bohemian crown jewels, which include the St. Wenceslas crown, the royal scepter, and, of course, the royal apple. Number 4. Alhambra, Spain. Granada's Nasrid dynasty architects designed Alhambra to be, quote, paradise on earth. And the palatial fortress does not disappoint. From the gorgeous garden, where nightingales flitter through the woods, to the magnificent Palacios Nazarias, the Alhambra is a tranquil wonderland. Its principal structures date back to the 13th and 14th centuries, before the Christian Reconquista in the 15th. a masterpiece of Moorish architecture. Its intricate geometric carvings, stuccos, and mosaics are a feast for the eyes. And today, the Alhambra is a UNESCO World Heritage Site that draws in thousands of enthralled visitors daily. Number 3. Château de Chillon, France. Tucked away in France's lush Loire Valley, the Château de Chillon reaches over the shimmering waters of the river Cher. Also known as Le Château des Dames, it owes its unique architecture and reputation to a series of influential proprietresses. In the mid-16th century, Henry II's mistress, Diane de Poitiers, had the bridge built over the river. His jilted wife, Catherine de' Medici, added the gallery on top after Henry's death from a jousting injury allowed her to kick out her rival. The effect of the whole thing is enchanting, with the charming chateau's white stone walls and towers reflected in the river below. Number 2. Edinburgh Castle, Scotland. Brooding over Edinburgh's Old Town, the oft-besieged stronghold rests on a volcanic outcrop of black rock. In some form or another, the foreboding fortress has guarded the city for the better part of a millennia and played a key role in the Scottish Wars of Independence. Much of the current castle was built in the 16th century after being damaged during the Marian Civil War. Nowadays, museums occupy the interior, while on the battlements, the 1 o'clock gun is fired at 1 p.m., Monday to Saturday, except on Good Friday and Christmas. Number 1. Schloss Neuschwanstein, Germany. Fanciful and majestic, King Ludwig II's anachronistic medieval castle is a fervent homage to Germanic mythology and the operas of the ruler's idol Richard Wagner. When his kingdom became part of the newly formed German Empire in 1871, Ludwig withdrew from public life and poured his passions and fortune into the construction of elaborate revivalist castles. Romanesque Castle Neuschwanstein, whose name means New Swanstone Castle, is the jewel in the crown, boasting dramatic soaring towers without and masterful murals and frescoes depicting mythological scenes within. It's the ultimate fairy tale fortress, an enduring love letter to a lost age. Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from MojoTravels, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.